Good evening, everyone. Hi there. My name is Sabrina McCorder. I'm SOAR's Manager of Business and Innovation, and I want to welcome you all to the 2021 Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition. Tonight we have 8 finalists from across the region who will pitch their idea for a chance to win a $7,000 grand prize, a $4,000 second place prize, and a $1,500 third place prize. Thanks to the generous sponsors, our presenting sponsor, Community Trust Bank, and our sponsor, Invest 606. I'd like to thank each of you for being here with us to show support to these finalists. Over the last couple of months, we've worked with these finalists, and they are officially ready for you to hear their pitch. Some of our innovation champions, Tal Jones, Cole Atkinson, and myself have been working with them, and we're so eager for you all to finally hear their pitch. So I have a few housekeeping items before we begin. In your chairs, you'll find a booklet with all of the Rockstar finalists listed in them, our amazing judges, Dawn Perry, Elsa Brown, and Amy Miller, and our wonderful team. Restrooms are located back by the stairs directly under the exit sign in the hallway. Jeff and Sky have been gracious enough to open up a cash bar for us this evening, so if you just go over to the next room through the blue door, you'll be able to get your adult beverages over there, and then refreshments are available next to the curtain. And then once all of the finalists, there are 7 of them, have completed their pitch, you'll be able to get up, network. We have a wonderful display area upstairs, and we're excited for you to hear them and see all of their displays. So please silence your phones. We don't want to have any interruptions. Everybody dig in your pockets, I see you reaching, and enjoy the show.
I'd just like to thank everybody at the SOAR Summit and the SBDC for everything they've done for this event and putting it on. Extremely grateful for you guys and appreciate the opportunity to pitch my business in front of you. I just want to tell you about Get Apparel and AJ's Clothing Company. My name is Adam Larkin. I'm the CEO of Get Apparel, co-founder of AJ's Clothing Company, LLC. One of the gentlemen from the TAL is going to bring this over to you. If you look in the bottom right of the screen, it's my official tag with my logo. I have federally trademarked through an attorney in Tennessee, and also the words "Get in the truck," which is what GET stands for. If you look over at the person on the left, what's the difference between these two pictures? The difference to me is you see somebody that's down, out, broke, depressed, no will to live, just no ambition, no drive, no enthusiasm, just nothing. The person on the right wakes up positive every day, has God in his life, is just trying to inspire other people. He's in college full-time. He's on the dean's list. He owns his own clothing company. He's in recovery. He's almost 3 years sober. He's working a program and just trying to benefit the community versus be a hindrance like he used to be. Drug usage in Kentucky statistics. According to the ARC, the nation's substance abuse crisis disproportionately impacts Appalachia. Where in 2018, overdose mortality rates for people ages 25 to 54 was 43% higher in the region than the rest of the country. According to the latest PayHit poll, in the past 12 months, 54% of adults reported they have a family member or a friend with drug problems. So I know this impacts people themselves, and it also impacts a lot of people through family, through friends. I mean, how many of us know somebody that has a drug problem and needs help and just needs to change their life and do something different? That's why I started this clothing company. The problem and solution: focus public attention on drug recovery, not addicts. Drug recovery and the inspirational aspect of it needs to be in the public eye instead. The public, Kentuckians and Appalachians, need public initiatives that are grassroots and relatable to inspire change in the discourse. The opportunity to address this problem and need was evident to Get Apparel, and I'm working each day to invoke positive change. Get Apparel, a relatable, mission-based clothing company that encourages people to get up, get motivated, and change their lives. Apparel is a great way to invoke change in communities because it's public-facing. It's visible to the eye, starts conversation while also being a low-cost, accessible good to most. While we all need clothing, while we all wear clothing, and while we all regularly purchase clothing, being a customer of Get Apparel carries a bigger impact. It encourages those to change their lives, to overcome barriers that are very real for many Kentuckians and Appalachians. Conscious consumerism. Our target market largely aligns with the conscious consumerism movement as we appeal to people to care about the power of their spending. According to the Nielsen IQ, a whopping 73% of global consumers say they would change their spending habits to align with conscientiousness. Our target market is Kentuckians aged 20 to 44. According to the census in Kentucky, individuals aged 20 to 44 make up 37% of our population. That's roughly 1.5 million individuals. While we plan to start in Kentucky with being an e-commerce store, we have the potential to expand into other states. The demographic makeup of those states shows similarity. Competitive advantage and drawback. Our biggest drawback is that there are many substitutes for our products. Apparel stores are not short in supply. However, we have distinct competitive advantages that will help us thrive in the tough market. 3 competitive advantages. We have low overhead. We're an e-commerce store, less expensive than a brick and mortar clothing apparel store, but we have a higher margin for profit. Advisement. Get Apparel seeks business advice from trusted advisors that serve as a sounding board, a voice of reason. One partner is the KSBDC, the Kentucky Business Small Development Center. The biggest competitive advantage, however, is our story. I'm a face of recovery. I have an inspiring story, and I'm tied to the product line. I have a story that many can relate to, whether individually themselves or through a family member. There's great potential for profit and brand expansion for Get Apparel. You will find the business plan, including complete financials in your documentation. Estimates are conservative with a retail and direct cost reflected. Projected gross margin is 63%, while projected profit margin is 26%. With the access to the $7,000 in capital, the business would set itself up for growth in 2022. $3,500 of it we want to use for marketing budget, for social media advertising campaign, and new camera equipment. The other $3,500 we want to use for inventory expenditure and the purchase of a new heat press. Get Apparel provides high quality, extremely comfortable clothing, inspiring people to do the most in life and encourages a healthy lifestyle. Get stands for get in the truck, get motivated, get in the zone, get inspired, just get anything you want out of life. That's what the infinity symbol's for, to show people that, get up, just do something different. You can do anything you want to do. Think outside of the box. You can start your own business. Sky is the limit. Don't pigeonhole yourself and think that you can't do something just because somebody tells you can't. You can do anything you want to do in life. Here are all our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Check out our YouTube channel at Get Apparel. We've been traveling all across the country filming for it. Check out getlive.com. It's a really fresh website. It's really clean. I had my friend, he actually works at MIT in Boston, design it for me. It's really cool. Definitely check it out. And I just want to thank everybody so much. I want to thank the judges. I want to thank the SBDC again. I want to thank the SOAR Summit for throwing this and giving me the opportunity. The $7,000 would drastically change my life, and we're just trying to inspire other people. I'm wearing the actual Get Breast Cancer Awareness shirt because we're doing a charity event this weekend, donating 20% of the proceeds and everything we sell on our website as well to the charity. But Southern Kentucky got me sober, you know what I mean? I just want to give back to the community. I just want to make a difference, and we work with treatment centers. We work with a lot of people. I've actually been meeting politicians and everything. It's been pretty cool what God's blessed me with, but thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Adam, nice presentation. I do have a question for you. You identified your target market as 25 to 44. Why 25 to 44?
Just because a lot of people at that age need treatment. A lot of people in that age have drug problems or alcohol problems. So I know a lot of people that age that's our target market. As well as obviously we'd like to get into schools talking to teenagers and get them before they get to that age, because that's, that would be the point in the long run, and everybody from infants to elderly people have actually liked the clothing. But for the most part, the target market's probably like, 15, 18 to 44, like you said.
I think the same thing as he says. I think that even though your target market is the older people, I think that your market is going to be the teenagers. I think that they will like your clothing, and that's a big market.
Yeah, I agree.
You said that Kentucky is, you're looking at Kentuckians that age. How do you plan to kind of bring just Kentucky in, or do you see that starting there and just with e-commerce it can,
Right.
not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've actually sold stuff to people in like 37 different states so far. So it is going good, like nationwide as far as for just getting started for a startup business. But we're targeting people locally, and I'm all over Kentucky. And we really, like you guys are saying, we want to target teenagers as well. Just so far, like the main focus has been, 20-ish to 44. But yeah, I mean, ideally that would be great. And just to, with funding and social media, just to expand on that would be great, to actually like really target like certain areas and then just go global with it, hopefully.
Adam, how long has it been since you started the company and started realizing sales?
Started it officially March 25th.
And what are you showing as far as those sales? Are you showing growth? Are you showing kind of a flat line? What's exactly happening?
Yeah, there's a little growth, and we've been putting money back into it, and then like everything's paid for as far as all our inventory, the attorney, stuff that we've used, the trademark, everything like that's already paid for. So the $7,000 would be very helpful to put towards more inventory and a new camera and stuff.
So are you actually profitable at this point, or still trying to get to that stage?
Trying to get to that.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Billy Brown.
Good afternoon. My name's Billy Brown. I'm the owner-operator of a small company called Walleye Solutions, and we're located in Stanford, Kentucky. The problem, cable and cord management. In particular, the running of cables, cords, tubes, wires, etc. from one room in your home to the other. And the solution is a Walleye cable pass-through wall port. So our product provides a dress toe from one side of a wall or barrier to the other through a fully enclosed, aesthetically pleasing port that's adjustable in length and comes in a variety of ID sizes. So the history, my wife and I owned a home in Liberty, Kentucky. Open concept, except it did have a small wall that protruded in between the kitchen and living room. Stood out about 6 feet, and my wife put a table on it, and she thought she would like to have a lamp on the table, but there was no plug available. So she said that numerous times, and one night she said it, and I got to thinking there's a plug on the other side of the wall in the kitchen that we just don't use. So I did what everybody would do. I got on Amazon, looked, couldn't find it, and then I Googled it and didn't find it, and then I got a little excited. So her need led to an idea, which led to a product, which led to this business, which led to a passion, and a couple passions, because right now we are manufacturing everything through additive manufacturing. Our products, they're two-piece threaded units that screw together, allowing us to join in the middle of a wall or barrier. They have a variety of ID size ranges currently that is 3/8 inch to 5 inches in diameter. And right now we can go all the way down from a 1/2 inch all the way up to 14 inches, and that can be expanded if a need arises. So, target market, we're looking for DIY individuals such as myself, as I was at the time we came up with the idea, contractors, television, internet installers, HVAC technicians. We have specific units for line sets and such. And honestly, we're even in some talks right now with some manufacturings. Competition, there's a company called Echo Gear. They make a really nice unit. It goes into the wall, but all it does, you can see, it penetrates one panel. It does not go all the way through the wall. So you still have to snake wires through the wall once you're in there. So why should you, well, and then there's wall plates like you can buy at Lowe's or something like that. And you could do a DIY solution similar to ours, but it wouldn't have the same aesthetically pleasing look that ours does. So why us? So we provide complete wall or barrier penetration. So we'll let you run a cable through a wall or barrier from one side to the other. Our product seals off the interior wall cavity. So once our product's installed, you don't have to worry about insulation or critters or anything like that coming out the port. Wires can be removed and re-ran with complete ease. So once you have it in, I know a lot of times a computer desk, you can pull a wire out the little grommet, that grommet's going to pop out. Our grommet will not. It will stay in place, it screws together, and it's sturdy. Product can be capped off. We do sell caps of a variety of sizes, so you can cap the units once they're in place until you need them. And adjustable lengths. You don't have to know your exact width of your wall. You know, if you get pretty close, if you got a 2x4 wall, we'll get you a product to work on that 2x4 wall. And install as easy as it gets. And I was going to do an install a minute ago, but the mic's a little off, so we'll do it at the end real quick for you. And we're currently operating on Amazon. We do about 90% of our sales on Amazon, 10% on the website. We currently have one sample box in the distributor's hands. We just got that done. It's led to some possible avenues that we're excited about pursuing. We are patent pending. We had a call last week trying to get our product UL listed. We just completed a standalone print shop, so we've got a standalone shop now. We were just honestly operating out of a basement for the first couple of years. And we're currently growing as a business allows us to grow. So we initially invested $1,500, my wife and myself, and since then it's been completely self-funded and we are operating debt-free right now. Financial projections. These projections are off by 1 year. So when I did the slides, I messed up. So 22 is actually 21, 23 is 22, and 24 is 23. So this year, we're projecting to do about 181,000 in sales. I checked this morning, that's more like 190. And we'll make about 66 to 68,000 off that. And honestly, Amazon's your best friend and your worst enemy. We do so much off Amazon. Amazon gets about half. You know, if we sell a unit for $14.99, Amazon's getting $7.50 of it. So, you know, if we could get into distribution or something like that, that really increases the margin. And we have, I'll go back one. We've projected 15% growth. I feel like that's very conservative. This is our growth since inception. We've been in business 32 months. And you can see that's monthly sales. So for the last 7 months, we've been hitting about $14,500 in sales a month. And I believe there's a lot more potential there. So our team, I'm Billy, I'm the owner. My wife in the back left corner, she's a pretty blonde. She's the owner, she does shipping, and honestly, she keeps the shop in shape. I'm a mess, so she goes behind me and keeps it clean. Rita Ellis, she's on part-time doing part packaging. We worked together at Caterpillar for 20 years, and they shut down a plant on us, so she also introduced me to my wife, so she gets a special play. Financial need, we need additional raw material, additional machine capacity. We need an additional electric run in the shop that we just built. I just didn't figure enough electrical capacity. We're looking at possibly bringing on first full-time employee and would love to do a little additional marketing and get our product out there. Why we should win. I just believe we just begin to scrape the surface with the potential for this product. I honestly believe there's a huge upside in retail, manufacturing, e-commerce, and just the more money, because we're trying to operate debt-free that we get, the better. So these are a few reviews. and I'm going to get cut off before I get all the way through. So, any questions?
Billy, what kind of advertising have you been doing at this point?
So very little. We do a little bit on Amazon, and I have discovered there's almost a direct relation with the amount of money you spend on Amazon advertising with the amount of sales you do. So I do think there's still potential there. If we increase that advertising on Amazon, we will increase our sales directly. And then I will run a Facebook ad randomly, and I'm horrible about not doing enough Facebook posts. But if I do a Facebook post, we definitely see a direct, result on sales. So,
One more question, Billy. With regards to your product, say you're doing a new construction, okay?
Yes.
Building a new home. Where do you see your product being used at in that home? Is it just the wall that you kind of showed on that picture that's kind of out there, or is it actually on all walls where you're trying to run wires and so forth?
Anywhere you think you may have the potential to run a cable in the future. And, it's called a wall port because when I invented this, that's what we were going through. I sell a lot of ceiling tile grommets. People take them through floors. I mean, there's a lot of different uses for it that I wasn't even aware of, honestly, when I created it.
Do you see it, though, being utilized in a new build?
I think it could be, yes. If people were aware of it and they knew of it, and they thought there may be potential later, somebody may want Ethernet ran or cable ran from a different spot in a home, it gives you that avenue. It gives you a port there. And like I say, we can make caps that screw together inside the walleye. And then it just looks like a solid, you don't have that opening there all the time.
What is your manufacturing capacity that you have right now?
We currently have 30 3D printers that we're running them on, and we have 2 more coming tomorrow. We've upgraded a little bit for some different type material. Of the standard walleye, obviously with 3D printing, it depends on what you're printing and how large it is. Standard walleye right now, I can do about 100 a day.
And your sales, let's say that I would want to buy one of these things, you go by the diameter, or how would you sell them?
Usually the listing will say the ID size and the wall thickness accommodation. So that's how we do it.
Okay, so that's the length then.
Yes.
So you manufacture to spec?
We can, yes. We also offer complete customization. We can model in-house and we can manufacture in-house, and most of the time we turn it around in 72 hours. Okay. Yeah.
Is your customer base, would you say, are you working with you mentioned, but how would you say it's split between contractors, do-it-yourself?
So I think we have probably 50-50, and I think honestly there's a growing market on the contractor side, and I think export and everything. I think we've got a lot of opportunity. We've got a customer in Canada that's bought 600 of the 2-inch walleyes, so they're obviously using them in their business,
Do you see that being a way you could get away from the Amazon? You just mentioned that could
so
be
distribution. I work with Rodney. Rodney suggested I was kind of wanting to get into
Billy.
retail.
I'm sorry, we have to cut off
Okay.
for questions. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Next up, we have Jeremy Bryant.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeremy Bryant. I practice law here in Corbin. However, tonight I'm here representing Kentucky Creative Bistro and Gallery. That is our art consignment and bistro located within Corbin as well. There are a few pictures from our gallery right there. You can see our mission statement, which is helping Kentucky artists actualize and capitalize on their talents. A little bit of background. This is a big, ugly, curved wall in my law office. Earlier this year, I was having some problems finding anybody to decorate it, so put out the bat signal on Facebook, said I was looking for a local artist to put a mural up there, a commission work, something of that nature. The response was overwhelming. The post went viral, and just I had dozens upon dozens of artists sent me ideas. A couple days later, I was driving to court in McQuarrie County. It's a boring drive, and I thought to myself, What I need idea would be to open a business to help artists connect with consumers and vice versa. So the problem as I saw it is that we want to be accepted. Our artists want to be accepted. We want to feel like we are part of a community. Consumers want that as well. And at KYC, essentially how we solve that is we put people together. We're not selling products. We're not selling art. What we are selling is community, acceptance, belonging, and togetherness by putting artists with consumers and consumers with artists. So we do actually sell some products as far as our art, our crafts. We have any number of artworks in our gallery right now. We have photography, ceramics, woodworking, glassworking, wireworking. We've got little corn husk figurines. Our food service on our bistro side, we have panini sandwiches, freshly baked goods, coffees, coffee-based beverages. And Kentucky Creative Press, that is our new venture. That's our publishing arm. We're going to be publishing an anthology within the next few months. This is going to be our cover. Local photographer Daryl Lovett, who is in Kentucky living with this photograph, he is going to do our cover. So that's Daryl's work right there. We're very appreciative for that. A few other products here. This is Stan West. He did a rainbow trout. There are some hand knitted hats right there. There are some of our cakes, some of our coffee drinks against the backdrop of Liv Taylor's artwork and local artist Stan West. We'll wrap back around to Liv in a second. And a lot of people just come into our gallery for food. Early on, I found that a statistic that about 50% of art galleries will fail during the first year. So I knew our draw had to be something else other than get art to get people in the door. And for us, it was food. A lot of people just come in and eat. They don't look at the art, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So our targeted customer, normally we have working professionals, people that are a little bit higher educated. Creatives come in. You know, our customers generally make a little bit more money because our retail is priced a little higher. But I don't want to separate it that way. We service, white collar, blue collar, right brain, left brain. Some people come in for art, don't eat. Some people come in and eat. They don't buy art. And sometimes you have crossover to where somebody will leave and have purchased some art or gotten something to eat when they didn't intend to. So our competition, Amazon is everybody's competition right now. Etsy, local galleries, art consignment retailers, anybody of that nature. But our product differentiation, our niche. You cannot buy civic pride from Amazon. Amazon sells products. Local retailers sell products. Anybody online, that's what they sell. Individual galleries that sell their own work, or they sell their work of a small conglomerate. We sell community, acceptance, and a sense of civic pride. You can't get that if you go on to Amazon. So our business model finances, we're a sole member LLC. We're entirely self-funded at this moment. Consignment, we do a 70-30 split. An artist makes 70% of any proceeds. Gallery makes 30%. Bistro side, we knew we were going to sell more food than art to get going. So it keeps our business functioning above water while the art sells, which is fewer, and we knew that. But essentially, you could look at our business as the equivalent of several dozen mini businesses. Every artist, every crafter that comes into our shop is basically an economy unto themselves. So our team, we have a great accountant team here in town, Marr, Miller, and Myers. Tim Wilder, George Miner, they serve as artistic consultants. TNT Graphics does our signage. Our property managers, Dale and Debbie Greer, they've been tremendous in altering our suite, doing whatever we need to make it work. And there's some of our few team members, Mindy, Billy, and Keely. Couldn't get anything done without them serving as the foundation for the gallery. Very proud of our workers. As far as our prize money, we've already outgrown our premises. We want larger premises for our art, for our craft. We want to buy a sublimation printer so that we can do original shirts with our artists. Hoodies, we want to purchase rights and partner with our artists in order to use a sublimation printer, make those prints on shirts and sell those. We'd also have to have a desktop printer to use with that. And then Kentucky Creative Press, as I said, we have an anthology coming out. Any prize money could be used to getting that off and running. We want to make some money for our local authors as well as our local crafters and artists. So our business model, we're a storefront e-commerce hybrid. We have a Shopify-based website. It's kycgallery.com. Storefront generally brings in more revenue than the website, but I anticipated that. And again, the food and beverage currently bring in more revenue than the artwork, which we also anticipated that as well. So a couple of success stories. This is Liv Taylor. She was active from the inception of Kentucky Creative. She came to Corbin Rotary, told us, she signed with us and her career took off. So she's hosted a 2-day event. She's sold approximately $1,250 in paintings through Kentucky Creative. We recently brokered a commission for her. She made about $800. And we got a review online. The buyer was very thankful that we connected Liv with them. Praised Liv for her work. Those are the 2 pictures she did right there, and praised us for brokering the deal. This is Emily Sharp. She just recently graduated from Whitley County High School. Never had sold anything before, needed some money from nursing school. She made $300 off that piece right there. And somebody called me the other day and said, I want a guitar like Nikki Sixx's. And I said, okay, I've got an artist that can custom paint you a guitar like Nikki Sixx. And it's going to be Emily. So she's going to make a few $100 more on that custom guitar piece. And that's what my lobby looks like now, just for the sake of closure, from Colleen Turner. I thank you. Any questions?
How do you advertise for the clients to come to you and show their artwork?
We have a multifaceted advertising scheme. We do TV commercials where we put out the call for artist writers. We do a lot of Google ads, Facebook ads, newspaper, and radio ads.
Do you have a place in mind? You said you wanted to grow. Location, do you have something in mind that is bigger already in the works?
I do. I have a suite that if we win the grand prize here today, I'm going to go sign a lease probably tomorrow. It's in the same plaza in South Park Center. It was Heavenly Pizza and a suite right beside it. So we got the place already picked out.
Jeremy, do you have plans to expand beyond just, current other cities in the state of Kentucky?
I do. I hadn't considered that. I feel like it's franchisable. I feel like, Corbin has progressively went in the direction of being a more vibrant, artsy culture than it has in the past when I was growing up. I feel like it could do a little better in maybe a Richmond, Louisville, Lexington area. So I feel like I have a franchisable product once it gets, off and running.
Have you considered, I know you're on a consignment basis with your artist. Have you considered, though, actually charging a small fee for display?
A small fee for display? I could see that. Right now, the 70-30 has worked out, and it's more of a partnership. What I want to impress upon our artists is we can do a lot of the advertising, and we do. I put a lot of money into it. But when we have more of a partnership, the individual artists can go out campaign for themselves also to get people into the gallery.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you all.
Next up, we have Lee Rose.
Hello, I'm Lee Rose, and I'm the owner and manager of Rose Hollow Cabins. And I would like, if you will, for just a moment, to imagine with me. You're driving up a mountain road, and you pull into the drive of a cabin that you've rented for a long weekend. There's a front porch swing, and it's springtime. There are daffodils blooming by the porch steps. You walk up the steps and you enter into the cabin. And as you walk inside, you step into Appalachia from the 1930s and 40s. There's period antiques, period decor, and there's vintage quilts on the beds. It has the feel of old Appalachia. That is Rose Hollow Cabins. The Red River Gorge and Natural Bridge State Park has experienced an explosion of popularity in the last few years, which would be great for the local economy except for one thing. There is a severe shortage of accommodations in the area. People are staying as much as an hour to an hour and a half away just to be able to visit the gorge. So my solution to that, to help with that problem, is Rose Hollow Cabins. We're located in the Daniel Boone National Forest, and we're only minutes away from the Red River Gorge. We have 83 acres of private mountainous forested land. We have fully equipped kitchens, washers and dryers, covered porches, fire pits, and we have city water. So, who are our customers? Our customers are new and returning visitors to the gorge, people who want a place to escape for the weekend, to enjoy nature without a crowd, individuals who want a place to escape to for a few days to disconnect. Maybe a girls' weekend with a few bottles of wine involved. We have an accommodation that can handle a larger group, or maybe a family that wants a longer stay. And I've even been contacted about hosting a yoga retreat. So our competition is Natural Bridge State Park. It has cabins and of course the lodge with Cliffview Resort. There are a few smaller hotels in the area, and of course other cabin companies are our direct competition. So, what do we offer that the others don't? As I said, we have air conditioning, fully equipped kitchens, on-site hiking. But our hiking, you don't have to worry about the crowds in the gorge. I hear a lot of complaints. People talk about how crowded the gorge trails have become. That's not a problem with us. Our trails are limited to guests only. I have a guitar in each cabin, and the largest cabin even has a banjo. So even if you don't play, that's a lot of good selfie opportunities to post on social media. Each cabin will have an herb garden, so if our visitors want to cook while they're with us, the herb garden is there for that option. We have a lot of other amenities. I have a guest bag for each of the guests when they stay with us. And I think it's really important to mention that because of where we're located, our guests don't have to worry about being cut off during a flood. That was a big problem this last spring in the gorge and some of the surrounding areas. Okay, Rose Hollow LLC. So far, I've put about $20,000 of my own money into the financing. I've borrowed $255,000. And when you figure in the annualized monthly expenses and look at 65 days a year for rental at a 65% occupancy rate, then that ends up with a net profit of around $42,000 a year, which is a gross margin of approximately 63%. So, Team Rose Hollow. Of course, big shout out to the Small Business Development Group, who has been a tremendous help. My bank and loan officer, Premier Cabins, who's providing the cabins, GTG Contracting Group, who's doing the groundwork for me. And with just a couple of exceptions, I've tried to use all small businesses in the area so that the money I'm spending is going back into the local economy. And I have to give a big shout out to my good friend Sherry Wisman, who listened to all my ideas and helped me find all the period furnishing and decor. She went on a lot of buying trips with me. And I also have to give thanks to my parents, who had the wisdom to buy the property over 50 years ago so that I could do something with it now. How do I plan to use the money? I want to use the money to expand the trails on the property. With the help of one other person, I've been doing all the work myself, but with the money I could hire some additional labor and make more of the property accessible to all of my guests. So that money will go directly into the local economy because I'll be hiring local people. I'd also like to use a small portion of it to finance a essay and art contest in the local school system. And I want it to focus on local history. We have a very interesting, very rich history, and I'd like to promote that. and why it's special to me. It's stewardship, it's community, it's the history. My family settled in the gorge in 1802. And I want our guests, when they leave, to take a little bit of that feeling of how special this area really is with them. Any questions?
How many cabins do you have?
I'm starting off with 3, and in 2 years, I want to expand to at least 2 to 3 more.
So Lee, do you have TVs in these cabins?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have televisions in the cabins?
No. No, I'm not putting televisions in the cabins, but I do have retro-style record players and a collection of vinyl to go in each cabin, and the record players are Bluetooth so that they can connect wireless and use their own tunes if they want. And then board games, books.
How far are they from the river gorge?
Depending on which road you take, because there's various ways to access it, 15 minutes.
So how long have you been open with regards to renting the cabins out?
The cabins are not open yet.
Okay.
We're about 2 months past due because of labor shortages and material shortages. So we've been dealing with a lot of that, but looking like maybe December.
So they are brand new?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And while I am standing here right now, roofs are being put on.
How do you plan to advertise and take the bookings?
I'm going to use Airbnb.
Okay.
And I've been posting a lot on social media, and I'm already getting a lot of buzz. I've already been contacted to find out when they're going to be ready, and I've been networking with the Slade Welcome Center and the Powell County Tourism Board. And they said just as soon as they're ready, they can start sending people my direction.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, and I have a display board upstairs with lots of photos of the property if you'd like to take a look. Thank you.
Next up, we have Matt Lorimer.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan. This is my beautiful wife, Eureka, and our dear friend, Matthew. And we are the Lost Creek Company. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever felt lost? It's a scary feeling, uncomfortable, hopeless feeling. But what if being lost was a good thing? Maybe being lost in adventure, being lost in the beauty of nature, being lost in a moment, kind of a cathartic experience where, you know, the stress of life melts away. We are the Lost Creek Company. So we're just a group of friends. We love adventure. We love the great outdoors, right? We love adventuring. And what we found is that a lot of brands that make outdoor clothing, they make clothes that are rugged and durable, but they lack comfort. We found that there's a lot of brands that are comfortable, but they lack style. We also found that there's a lot of brands that are named after places that a lot of people have never even been to, okay? Places that are, you know, beautiful, no doubt, but none that showcase the beauty of Appalachia, that give the people of Appalachia a brand they can be proud of. And so we are the Lost Creek Company. So what we wanted to do is bring a product to the table that was comfortable, durable, and stylish, okay? Something that people of Appalachia could be proud of, something they could find an identity in, okay? Something that would also speak to people outside of Appalachia and kind of bring them into the beauty and the culture of Appalachia.
So our goal is to achieve this with products such as dry fit activewear shirts, merino wool underwear, leather travel duffel bags, women's outdoor leggings, and outdoor beanies and performance shorts.
So the question is, who are these products for? I think they're honestly for anyone who's an outdoor enthusiast. anyone who is a fitness enthusiast, anyone who likes to travel, and most importantly, anybody who just wants to be a little bit unique and stand out, to be a little different. Matthew?
So we stand out because we are appealing to adventure seekers. We stand out because we've committed to give a portion of our profits back to Appalachia to help build the area. We market a brand that connects with people's identity. We help support other East Kentucky businesses make profit as well. Major companies don't give back to Appalachia, and most of them don't even feature Appalachia. We're a small local brand making to make a major impact. Our competition is big brands that have no connection to Appalachia or the region. Under Armour, Eddie Bauer, North Face, who's actually been there? It's kind of disconnected. And so we wanted to create a product that you can identify with and you can go to and be proud of. So we're asking for you to partner with us. Help us get off the ground with this grant. Share the beauty of the region's culture. We're going to make product lines that are going to be named after Appalachian regions across the area too. So that's another way we're going to showcase. We've already had market excitement. Within 3 months of business, we have sold over 200 transactions. Within 5 months of business, sold to over 25 U.S. states and 6 countries worldwide. This is with 0 outside funding. We're ready to grow and develop new products, but we need your help to make this happen. So our business model, we are a business to consumer. We focus on e-commerce. We do not have a retail location at the moment, but we are looking to move in that direction in the future. We also offer wholesale to local businesses. In fact, during COVID, we teamed up with local businesses that were going through struggle during the COVID time, and they received at least 30% profits off of every product that they sold that they bought from us. So we're looking to partner with as many in the region as well moving forward. We created a 50% markup above cost, so this gives us a little bit of room to work with, and then also do wholesale through that. Also, another part of this that we want to expand into in the future, just to give you a gist of that, is say SOAR wants to create 200 polos. They could come to the Lost Creek company instead of buying Columbia or all these others and put their logo on the product. So it's going to have our tag on it. It's going to be manufactured, but it would be just like wearing a Columbia or something like that with a high quality. So with that as well, we want to team together to help the Appalachian region and working together with other small businesses. We've received 0 outside funding, and we put together our own funding to launch our first product, and that's gone super well.
All of that to say, we feel like we should win this grant because if we win, Appalachia wins too. Because our goal is to make something that Appalachian people can be proud of, that they can identify with, but to give outsiders insight into what Appalachia looks like. That dream is already being realized by some of our friends in other countries who are ready to start sharing our brand in their country, and we're always looking for new ambassadors in other countries so we can spread out and have a global impact. Our team is really what embodies our dream, okay? Because I myself grew up in Lost Creek, Kentucky, went to Lost Creek Elementary School. I saw firsthand the beauty of Appalachia. Matt grew up just down the road from Lost Creek. Now, Eureka grew up in Japan. She moved to Lost Creek. She came in as an outsider, but she quickly fell in love with the beauty of the Appalachian people and the outdoors of the Appalachians. Basically, this grant would help us launch 6 new products, and that would get our dream into reality. In closing, we just want to say this. We're a group of friends who love adventure. We love the outdoors. We love getting lost in nature, but we know what our final destination is because we are the Lost Creek Company. Any questions?
Do you manufacture the product here, or do you buy it from somewhere, or you design it and?
So right now we're currently sourcing from North Carolina, New York, and Pakistan.
How are your prices as compared to what you consider your competitors?
I would say average. We're going to try to come in just a little bit lower, but very reasonable compared to the brands that I mentioned there. And also back to your question as well, the long-term goal would be to actually do a lot of the sewing in Breathitt County or in the Appalachian ARC region as a long-term goal.
Yeah, are you having any problems on the shipments coming from Pakistan or from overseas?
Not really. We have we use air service, so it comes pretty quickly. The biggest problem we've had is fabric delays, but we're overcoming that and moving forward.
So how are you generating sales? Is it through a website? Is it through Amazon?
Yeah, right now we're focusing a lot through our website and social media.
Our own personal website.
Yes.
We have our own e-commerce site that we use.
Yeah, web store. We're doing a lot on Instagram, Facebook, and we'd like to launch on Amazon pretty quickly too.
And you're currently profitable?
We are breaking even. So we've made money, we're making money, but the issue with the startup is there's a lot of upfront costs. So we're breaking even. Yeah, any money we make, we put back into it right away.
And your new products, can you just tell me a little bit about what those new products may be?
Yeah, do you want to go over that or?
Well, one in particular is One in particular is going to be outdoor pants because there's a lot of different designs out there, but we want to make something that is more rugged and durable but still comfortable. So we're still in development of those. That's a big one. We briefly mentioned merino wool underwear. That's actually kind of a big thing because of the moisture wicking. Merino wool socks. That's another one because of moisture wicking and just overall all day comfort. So that's three of the big ones that we're working on. Yes.
And we have a bunch of products available upstairs that you can touch and feel and check them out.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Renee Moore.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Moore, and I'm the founder of Community Treatment and Tracking Solutions. Our headquarters is here in Corbin, Kentucky, and we are serving our clients from 5 different locations here in the southeastern Kentucky and western Kentucky region. Community Treatment and Tracking Solutions is a technology company paired with substance abuse treatment service providers focused on caring but reinforced with compliance. We have a suite of technology products coupled with treatment services to achieve outcomes that strives to create a new industry of rehabilitation electronic monitoring, and yes, I did make up that word. Our products and services are designed to address the problems facing those with substance abuse disorders and justice involved. As you can see, the problem here is that, as ARC defines it, is economic distress and drug overdose, and you can see that where we're at. The problem is that the overspending on incarceration of those with substance use related charges and expensive outdated equipment. So as you can see what's in front of you there, with my equipment, this is the old technology. Mine is the new technology. This is a phone. This is a bracelet. We have a GPS watch, and we have an app. So with our suite of services, we can help address the problem of over-incarceration by helping with the burden of overcrowded jails and the fiscal court jail budgets. Now I'm going to tell you how real it is. Even though this is not a noble endeavor, this is not virtue signaling, this is about real lives and putting people back to work out of the jail cell. I'm going to tell you how we did it. My first client that I had on the app, he was a tester. I met this guy, JT. He's sitting here right now in the audience. He was facing 5 years in prison. We got him shock probation, took him out of the jail, and literally what he left jail with was a phone and an app and a bag of clothes we gave him and an address to get to in Lexington, and we got him there. Part of his shock probation is he had to work a program so that he was no longer a convicted felon. JT took the features of the app, as some of them that you can see up here is that he used the telehealth. Right now, we all know that telehealth is the big thing that with COVID. COVID has helped us with that. Cognitive behavioral therapy. We have a resource guide on there. I'll never forget JT actually with the GPS tracking that we use and facial recognition, dropping him off in Fayette County. He was a country boy in a county jail that went to Lexington in a sober living house, and he took the features of that app to direct him to what office he needed to go to. He could push a button. It would say what meetings that he had to go to. He was able to show the court that he could meet the requirements of why that he no longer needed to be a convicted felon, and that no one would ever question him, and get his needs met. And it cost the taxpayers $0 because he invested in himself. In the 3 years since the scaling of that, JT has went from sitting in a jail cell that would have cost the taxpayers $30,000 to house him to $0 to him paying for his own outcome. And today, JT owns his own business, employs 8 employees, and he's giving back to the community because he continues to still use that app. He invested in his own outcome, his own sobriety, and he used the features daily in that app with these products and services. So that's an illustration of the outcome. So with these, for others, we have a suite of technology that we actually own the rights to, licensing, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the telehealth, which is billable. For some people who are at high risk, we use the phone and the tether. People graduate. So these are the products that we're pairing together with these treatment services. Substance abuse, mental health, intensive outpatient treatment. We're doing reentry and job development. We're doing supportive employment. Who do we serve? Sometimes our clients that we serve are the ones who benefit from our product the most, and that is the taxpayers. This app is being used by MD prescribers to make sure that their patients are being able to record what their symptoms are for medication management and for compliance on medication. As you can see here, these are just some of who is utilizing our suite of treatment services coupled with our technology. Who's our competition? Well, there's millions of apps out there, but Locally, we have two competitors. As you can see, we're competing in a market that they can't keep up, where we're able to enforce the compliance with the telemedicine. People are getting help instead of being what we refer to in the industry as dog pounded. Nobody has any dignity when they are strapped with this and they can go nowhere. How do we stand out? We're the right product for what the future is at the right time. As you can see here, that over 70% of people with substance use disorders are under the age of 40, and we're living in a time where there's an app for that. Questions, please.
Renee, you mentioned the two current competitors there. So what is your edge versus the current competitors that you have here locally?
We have a 24-hour live monitoring center so that I can be here right now, and the monitoring center actually monitors everyone's compliance so that I don't have to pay someone to actually be looking at someone every day, and that while people are waiting on resolving cases, they can actually receive treatment and already address their issues. And we have a lot of clients that actually get their charges dismissed because the judges and prosecutors are more pleased with the fact that someone is actually going back to work and addressing the problems.
So you're touching on something here that I'm trying to understand. So you enable your clients to basically avoid other detention methods through
We're an alternative to incarceration.
Correct, but now the ankle bracelets are as well, right? And I'm
Correct.
assuming those are what your competitors are using and so forth.
They're using this.
Okay, and so what is, again, is it the technology, the app that you have that sets you apart from those competitors? Or?
We're
set apart with technology, the cost to the client, and the availability of client services. So the technology is a big piece, the cost to the client, and then their opportunities wrapped up in the technology.
So besides the app, you supply housing, or you don't have anything to do with that? You just tell them where they can go?
The app has a resource manual in it
Okay.
that the client can access when they're ready and navigate, which is what she was explaining. So if we have a client somewhere that we might not be, they've got access to that resource app, and then they can navigate themselves through the treatment that way.
So the court decides that if they use this technology, then they go free, or on probation, or how does that work?
We have graduated accountability, so some people may start out on this. This actually can pair with an app on the phone, which they can go to work. Their employer doesn't know that they're have court involvement. Some people who are higher risk start out with both of these together, and some people end on the app, and the court gives people bail, and if they have to have some type of tracking to get out, or they're serving their sentence on us as well, and they pay for it themselves.
Thank you, Renee. Next up, we have Ron Montgomery.
Hello, my name is Ryan Montgomery, and I'm a physical therapist and CEO of Spinning Wheel Innovations. I'm excited to be here to talk to you guys about a product that I've developed called Ridge Walk. Before I do that, I'd like to see a show of hands if anyone has ever experienced foot pain or just an achy, tired feeling on the bottom of the foot. So if you look around, we see quite a few hands go up there. If you've experienced that pain, there's a good chance that you may have had a condition called plantar fasciitis, whether or not that was formally diagnosed. This condition affects 1 in 10 people in the general population. The current treatment options are not super effective, and you're looking at a 6 to 18 month recovery time for what's currently available. So to help everyone understand what plantar fasciitis is exactly, the way that I like to think about it, if you imagine this were the arch of your foot, so if you kind of cup your hand, the plantar fascia is a ligament. The best way I like to think about it is like a rope that's connecting your heel bone or your calcaneus distally to your digits or your toes. When you develop plantar fasciitis, that ligament becomes overstretched as you lose the arch of your foot. So you can imagine if you have a rope connected here to here, you lose your arch, your foot elongates. So now that's elongated, you're going to get an overstretch and a pull of that plantar fascia ligament. That creates a significant amount of pain at the heel bone where it connects, and it can generate pain anywhere along the fascia. There's lots of different proposed theories how that develops. One that I have is the evolution of shoes. So most of us, generally speaking, wear shoes that are too supportive, and then the foot musculature no longer works the way that it should to properly maintain the arch. So my aha moment, because this was a very troublesome condition to resolve, I applied something that's already in the market for another stubborn condition called tennis elbow. And some of you guys may have seen a strap like this before, but basically what it does is it exerts a pressure inward to decrease the pull of that musculature where it connects on the bone on the outside. So I knew if I could generate an upward force on that plantar fascia ligament as the foot elongates, that would reduce the pull of that ligament on the heel bone, and you can kind of see there at the heel where that rope-like structure inserts. So that's a picture of the insert that I've developed that has transverse ridges kind of strategically placed along the insert. You just slide it in your shoe. So the ridges prevent that fascia from pulling at its insertion point on that bone. The ridges also increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, and stimulates the foot musculature to actually do its job and help rebuild the arch, fixing the cause of the cause. So I've collected over 3 years of data to ensure that those ridges are anatomically in the correct position to get pressure off that plantar fascia ligament. That's just another schematic view of the arches with measurements. They're in metric. Metric system drives me nuts, but that's where some of those ridges go. The primary customer is going to be everyone suffering with plantar fasciitis. I want this to be easily obtainable, so I don't want it to be something you have to have a prescription, go to the doctor, get a $500 insert made. I want it to be a $65 product that anyone that has this condition can obtain. So target market, currently there are 2 million people in the United States with this condition. Sales with all the different gizmos and gadgets currently in medical visits is upwards of $376 million. Another potentially huge market is those folks with diabetic neuropathy, and there's over $11 billion spent per year with that condition. The insert also is effective with that due to the increase in blood flow. Some of the competitors, so got custom shoe inserts, which I touched on briefly, Dr. Scholl's Power Step inserts. They make resting night splints. So there's lots of inserts on the market. The difference with my insert is the ridges. There aren't any in the market with the ridges. So that's going to treat the cause of the cause, improve blood flow, reduce inflammation with fairly immediate results. So this was 400 case subjects that tried my shoe insert. You can see I had complete resolution in pain in 350 of those folks in 2 weeks. The longest time to recovery was 6 weeks, which is a lot shorter time frame than the typical 8 to 12 months. This is a customer testimonial I'll touch on briefly. This fellow owns a gutter company in Lexington, Kentucky. He said he had tried everything. He's still a customer of mine. My business model, I'd like an initial focus on e-commerce. I'd like to get into local foot and shoe stores with hopeful expansion into large chain retail stores so they can be easily purchased. This is a breakdown here. So my estimated profit projection year 2024, we're looking at, that's a bit blurry. We're somewhere in the millions. And that's estimated with 3 employees building 8 inserts per hour. On my team, I have a mechanical engineer, digital web print designer, orthopedic surgeon, president of Inventors Network Kentucky, patent attorney, my father, which is going to provide the location of buildings free of charge in Salyersville, Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, for me to hopefully build these, and then my cousin who had to exit from the shoe industry. For use of funds, I'd like to hire my first employee, purchase a $1,000 vacuum press, and purchase additional supplies and materials so I can make more of these. I currently build them all by myself, and which is very time consuming. I need some help. I cannot meet the demand. Why should I win? I hope to provide jobs in Salyersville, Kentucky, where I grew up. That's my ultimate goal and dream, is to have a factory there. And I was kind of thinking what I was going to say here. My grandfather that lived in my hometown, he would always find odd jobs for folks in the community that didn't have good employment. I always referred to them as the boys. That's what they were called. When my grandfather passed away, most of the boys were there. So my heart is there, and I hope to provide jobs. And I have greater than 3 years of testing. So, questions?
How are you manufacturing the soles right now?
How am I making them currently?
Yeah, currently.
By hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I build them all. I've got a makeshift shop out back, little garage workspace, and so I'm currently about 6 on back order.
So you have different sizes. There are different sizes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way that works, and I've collected all that data over 3 years, there's a little bit difference with gender, where that first ridge starts. It's important that you get it right in front of that connection point. But they're kind of custom, but not really per se, because sizes can be grouped. So for instance, like a size 7, 8, and 9 will all be grouped with the same amount of ridges, the same spacing, and I have all of that data. So like if I get an order for a size 8, I know exactly how many ridges and the spacing to place them.
So Ryan, how far along are you with regards to getting this patent?
Already through the provisional, we have filed a utility and design patent. Yeah, so we're in the works. Patent pending with a little back and forth, soon to come.
So you captured 3 years of data. How many patients does that represent?
A little over 400. A little over 400.
Of those 400, they have all experienced your soul?
They
Okay.
have, yes, sir.
And what was the, rate percentage-wise that had some kind of positive?
Absolutely. So back on the one slide, so I had complete resolution of pain. I think it was 350 of those folks in 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks. And, it's interesting because the first time I tried it, I had a guy kind of hobbling in, with a cane, because it's very painful if you've ever seen, well, I have this condition. I actually just got a piece of foam. I took a shoe insert out. I just used a piece of tape, put it on there, boom. He was up walking pain-free. So I knew I was onto something.
How long do they last? Like for a customer, how many would they need?
Yep. So that's a super good question. So what I've found, it does resolve the pain, but these folks, I don't know if it's fear-based might be the wrong, terminology to use, but they feel so good they want to continue to wear the inserts. Normal breakdown, and I actually just had a patient like that top layer was all off and they had completely broken down. lasts maybe 5 to 6 months, which is, and of course they're telling friends and family, but that's good because you have a product that, potentially will have another sale in the future.
And Ryan, right now your sole just has the ridges on it. Does it do anything to absorb pressures? or anything
Pressure,
like that?
yeah. So there will be some.
Ron, I'm sorry, we're out of time for
Oh.
questions. I'm so sorry.
Daggone it. I love to talk. Okay.
We'll talk later.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
At this time, we're going to take a short break and let the judges deliberate. They're going to follow me upstairs. Feel free to get up, network. Please eat refreshments. We have plenty. There's some upstairs and downstairs, so take some time and network and mingle. Thank you guys for being patient. You have no idea how hard it is to keep these a secret coming downstairs when there's people waiting to see what's on their name. So we appreciate all the participants. You all did a wonderful job. We appreciate all of you for coming out and supporting them. And now we're going to give away some grand prizes. So everybody give the participants one last round of applause. So our third place winner for the 2021 Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition is Renee Moore. Congratulations, Renee. If you want to hang out for just a minute and let him grab a picture. Are you good? Yeah, okay. All right. Our second place winner is Ryan Montgomery. All good with pics? Perfect. And our first place winner, build the suspense a minute. Our first place winner is Billy Brown. That concludes our 2021 pitch competition. Again, we appreciate each of you all for coming out, for showing support. Give everybody one last round of applause because they did amazing. And I know Tal, Cole, and I are excited to continue working with them as their innovation champions. So that concludes. Feel free to grab some refreshments and mingle, and we're going to get started cleaning up. Congratulations, guys.